Hey, thank you for dropping by the channel on this fine Friday evening. If you're checking this video out as it drops 7 p.m. Japan time, thanks for dropping by. I appreciate the first-time viewers, appreciate the people coming back and watching, regular viewers, appreciate anybody who's watching my content. So thanks for checking in today as we take a look at this shoe. Now, I've done quite a lot of Kyrie 6s. I'm going to go up there and say maybe 8. And I do dig the silhouette. I always say I preferred the 5s, you know, and I always talk about the Ikets and chuck that up and say that was my favourite Kyrie so far. But the 6s have kind of grown on me. At first I was a bit like, on them, but as I've done a few of the videos and I've checked them out in more detail, they've kind of grown on me. And then we come out with this one today, and it's actually a really clean shoe because not only is it that great 6 silhouette, it's also got a great story to it and a great bunch of details on it, and that one thing that everybody seems to be missing. So without further ado, let's get into this video and take a look at the upcoming release of the Nike Kyrie 6 Asia. This is a Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker channel, Tokyo About a 23 Sneaker channel des. Mainichi upstream no day, mainichi mite kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And it's all going well here for me. We just finally got to the end of our business year, shall we say, and I get to have about a week and a half off, summer holidays, whatever you want to call that. And it's great because it's been a tough one to get this far with all this coronavirus stuff going on. But it'll be great to just sort of relax and chill out and just hang out with my little girl for a couple of days. And that'll mean hopefully I'll be able to catch up on things with the channel because I am way behind in things like comments and stuff like that. But fingers crossed this week off work will give me enough time to sort of get things back into sort of perspective. And speaking of things being in perspective, let's get in and take a close-up look. Let's focus in on this shoe today, which is that Nike Kyrie 6 Asia that I was saying about. What I always say every single time, and people are probably bored of me saying it, is that when there's a question in the video or something, a question in the title of the video, I try to give the answer as soon as possible. Sometimes I forget and I feel bad about that, but today I haven't forgotten, and I can tell you straight away that one thing that I think people are missing. So here's the lateral side of the Kyrie 6 Asias. It's Asia after his older sister, but it's not just her who's in this shoe. I think there's more than that, and we'll get to that in a minute. But it's all about, you know, paying respect to his sister and giving her a shout out. There's even a place on the shoe that says something along the lines of engineered to the exact specifications of Asia Irving. So it really is not only a shoe dedicated to her, but a shoe like molded by her, and that's a great thing. It's great to see family members shouting each other out and having that much, you know, pride in each other's work and what they're doing. And it's to do with that. It's to do with that motif of Asia and his sister. We'll go. You know what? I'll go to the thing first. That one thing that people are missing right now. We're on the lateral. I'm going to zoom in on it. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but as the green screen does its magic and sort of starts to zoom in on that part, what we're talking about is the lateral eyelets. Now, on a regular on other 6s that I've looked at, this eyelet here looks like this. Maybe what we've got there is, I don't know what shoe would be a good one to have on. Maybe the USAs. Maybe the USAs will be a shoe that's clear enough to look at it different on because it's not black. I was thinking about those USAs because they're blue, and hopefully you'll be able to see the eyelet on there, and it kind of looks heart-shaped. And then if we flip that back to the Asias, it looks very heart-shaped, and I think that's deliberate. I don't know it's deliberate. You know, I don't have a cousin who works at Nike who's telling me that that is deliberate. But to me, it looks like it's much more of a heart shape, and it's much more specifically aimed at his sister and saying to his sister how much he loves her and respects her. And the reason I think I can say that is because of the motif of the shoe. The main place, the main bit of detailing on the shoe is if you come all the way forward to the toe box on there, you can see it's a camo toe box in multiple purple shades. So I don't know what the shades are. I'm not great with colors of purple, but it seems to be like there's lilac and violet and purple in there, but I don't know the exact shades. And you're thinking it's all these shades of camo, but then when you zoom in a little bit and have a closer up look at that camo, you can see actually that the camo is sort of infused with hearts on there. So that's why I think we can say that that heart eyelet up the top of the lacing system is actually a bit exaggerated on this shoe to go with that motif on the front part of the shoe there. So that's my thing that I'm saying with these guys. It's a thing that I haven't seen anybody talk about yet, but maybe, you know, I haven't looked in the right places, or it's just a pure coincidence. But to me, I don't think it is. It looks like there's a bit of difference in the way that the heart is designed. It looks more pronounced, like I said, than other shoes, other 6s that I've looked at. And I think with that motif on the toe box there, we can actually say that it is deliberate from the Nike line in Kyrie. And speaking of that camo and that sort of with heart motif on there, unusually they've gone and played around with the medial side of the midfoot strap. And what I'll do again is I'll throw up, one of the shoes I already talked about, which was the, what was it now, the shot clocks. Let's throw up the shot clocks and we'll have a look at the medial side of the strap on there, and you can see it's a black midfoot strap on there with the X1 for 6, which is this shoe, the Kyrie 6, on the medial side of the midfoot strap. But usually, and not always, but usually they don't really do much with that part of the shoe. But then if we come over to the Asias here, you can see that they've actually really gone to town on it, and they brought that motif from the toe with that kind of heart-shaped camo stuff going on there and put that in the midfoot strap, which is kind of unusual. They don't usually do that on these shoes. So, and that is on the medial side, I think I'm right in saying. And I'm now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's got Asia's name in it as well. And I think I'm right in saying it's in almost an infrared red saying Asia, and maybe underneath it it's got that heart again for that heart motif in the red, which also then gives us a chance to go across from the that midfoot strap and get up onto the tongues of these guys. It's one of my favorite things in a shoe when the tongues don't match on each shoe, because I always say that it shows that they've taken the time to think about the design. It would be economically makes more sense to have them be the same, because then you can just churn out the tongues en masse. But having two different tongues adds a whole different dimension to the production process, which makes it more expensive. But because they do that, that they're actually focused on design rather than finances. And the thing that we're looking at here is on the right shoe, the left one. As you look at it, they've got that red Asia branding again, and again I think it's their name with the heart below it in red. And then if we go across to the left shoe, you can see the standard Kyrie branding on there in yellow this time. So like I say, that duality where they're not the same branding up there in the tongues is a big plus for me. And then it's not too far to go onto the insoles. Now, I did mention earlier in the video that this shoe is targeted at Asia, but I think there's a second woman in there. Again, I haven't seen this out there anywhere, but I might just not be looking in the right places. But we're looking down on the insole, and I think it's the right shoe, I'm right in saying, has Roman numerals 8 and 13 in there. So I did a bit of digging around, and it turns out that 8 potentially, according to my research, 8 stands for August, the 8th month of the year, and 13 stands for the 13th day of the year, which is Kyrie Irving's mum's birthday, not Asia's birthday. I think Asia's birthday is in January, if I remember rightly. So 813, I think, on the insole of the right shoe stands for Kyrie Irving's mum's birthday, which is why I don't just look at this shoe as Asia's shoe, but it's the women in Kyrie Irving's life, so it's not just about one woman, but more than one woman. And that takes us around to the back of the shoe. But before we do that, we should go across to the other insole. And I forget what's on there, but I know it's different from the 813 on the one shoe. I think it might have Asia's name in there as well, but I might be wrong. So what I'll do is I'll just chuck up the picture, and you can see we'll have scanned across from the right insole with that Roman numerals on there, and you'll see what's on the other insole. But then we get to the heels, and it's important that we get to the heels, because it's one of the biggest sort of stories on the shoe, because that classic Kyrie 6 heel with the all-seeing eye on there, echoes of ancient Egypt, which run through his shoes very, very regularly. But it's actually transparent, sort of translucent chunking on the back of the heel here, and you can see it looks through, and it's a bit difficult to see the words. I'm sure it's not that easy to see it, and if I'd zoomed in on one heel, you would have been able to make out a few words, but not all of them. But by having both heels here and here, you'll be able to look at both of them and then work out what the total message says. And it says Year of the Woman, singular, woman, not women, plural. And I think that's a little mistake. If I'm right in saying that the birthday on the insole is Kyrie's mum, but then Asia being his older sister, that's 2 women, so maybe they should have gone with Year of the Women on the back of these guys. But as far as I know, and as far as I can tell from pictures and stuff, what you're looking at is Year of the Woman, singular. But it's a small detail, and speaking of small details, let's keep coming round the shoe. We've kind of focused on the medial side, but we haven't looked at the lateral side yet, and that's well worth looking at, because it's got that double stacked swoosh on there, which is primarily in what looks like almost a very, maybe mauve. There's another purple to throw in there. It doesn't look grey, it looks like there's a hint of purple in there, but it's double stacked, because below that you've got that red to give it a bit of highlight and definition. But it's not a border, it's almost a 3D effect, the way that the red is like a shadow to the mauve, purple, or whatever that is, violet, lilac, I don't know. There goes my iPad. And that happens a lot. I probably should do something about that, right? Like strap it down or something. So, but anyway, we should really flip around to the medial side though and think about the swoosh that's on there, because the swoosh on the medial side is a single swoosh, not stacked like the lateral side, and it is in a very clear purple, whereas one of the stacks on the lateral side is a sort of shade of purple, whereas on the medial side it's very, very purple. And then the last thing to do is flip these guys upside down and have a look at the outsole. A little bit unique, maybe people don't pick up on this, I'm not sure, but I did pick up on it. Usually, as far as I'm concerned, with the Kyrie 6, the all-seeing eye on the front gets the colour, and the rest of the outsole is like a mono colour, a single colour, or the back half of the shoe with that kind of jagged, almost pyramid effect gets the colour, and the all-seeing eye is in a monochrome single colour. But as you can see here, they've actually gone for that double effect where both ends of the shoe, the front part of the outsole and the back part of the outsole, are in multi-colours, which is, I don't see that very often in Kyrie 6s, and I think it's a deliberate thing on here. And then the final thing, I think I already said the final thing, but I'm saying the final thing again, is to go back to that lateral side and zoom right in on the materials. I don't know what they're made of. Could be suede, could be velvet, but to me it looks like flannel. So if you know what they are, what the material is, feel free to hit me up in the comments down below and let me know. But to me, it looks like almost a flannel effect. But all in all, even that material on there, the colours, with the camouflage and stuff like that, double stacked swooshes and Asia's motifs around the place and things like that, different branding on the left and the right shoes, translucent heel and everything. It's a really clean shoe. And I like I say, it's been a long time coming, my appreciation for the Kyrie 6s. Maybe because those 5s were so precious to me and so close to my heart, especially the 8 kids. The 6s were a bit of a letdown. But over the 6 months or so I've been looking at them, I've started to grow an appreciation for them. So I think you've got this one right, Nike, Kyrie Irving. I think you've done a great job, Asia Irving, and Mum too, if she's in the shoe as well. Hopefully I've got the details right on it. Excuse me. I've got the details right on it, and I haven't missed anything out. But if I have, hit me up with the comments down below. And all that's left for me to do is do what I do at the end of every single video, which is thank you guys for checking out the content. Truly, truly appreciate it. But for another day, I got to sign off. But you know what? I do this every single day. So that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.